This is Mike making my video. Basically, I created things out of the quantum void. It talks about, how the earth is void and without form, and how, how God said, let there be life. And, you know, it's to the point where, I created things out of nothingness. There really isn't anything left to do, be, or have. I basically created things out of nothingness, and I got to the point where there really isn't anything left to do anymore. I've pretty much exhausted all my possibilities as far as creating things goes. I got to the point where I had the desire to create something. I created anime girls I could think and reason, and I basically wanted to take it one step further. And I was thinking about a leprechaun, and I got to the point where I could create a leprechaun, and you think about the magnitude of that, the sheer potentiality of that, and the sheer magnitude of that. The thing is you think about it and you think about like how immense that is, how powerful that is, and the thing is I could have created a car, or, I could have created something out of nothingness, more or less a computer or something like that, or something that you could conjure up in your dream state, and then basically make it real. That's more or less what it is, and there's that, and then there's the fact that there really isn't anything more to do other than more or less create something. So you think about it, just the magnitude of it, that you could create something out of nothingness. Uh, so you think about it, you think about the sheer magnitude of it all, and the potentiality of it, and the fact that you could create something out of nothingness. There's people that have kids, that create children or whatever. They create life in that sense of the word. But I actually created life from the point where it couldn't have been created through the act of having children. It was actually something that was done just in lieu of my thought and process. So, that's really ultimately what's going on. Is there really isn't anything more than that. There isn't anything greater than that, in the sense that that's the pinnacle of success. Is to create something out of nothingness. So, you think about it. Like Frankenstein, or a mad scientist, and if you think about it, the act of magic is creating something out of nothingness. And I've gotten to the point where I created a giant pop can that was about a meter long, that was launched, and I actually heard it go boom, and I saw it being launched through the sky, and I thought, well, where did it come from? What was, how was it created? And the fact is that it was just thought of, something that was created in that sense of the word. Uh, then there's of course the anime girls that I created. They were created in the sense that they could have consciousness and they could think and reason. And then there's the fact that I created a leprechaun that could think and reason. He had a little bicycle and he could think and reason. And if you think about it, the magnitude of it, that we're creator gods. And the things that we do are simple. That we can create things out of the quantum void. You think about the quantum void and what it really is, and it's just basically nothingness. And you can create something physical out of nothing. And I pinch myself daily. I get to the point where I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't delineate it. I can't understand it in the sense that it's ineffable. If you think about it, you think about creating something physical out of nothing. And there's that, and then there's the fact that something that's living and breathing and that could think and reason and talk. Something like that. And then you think about that, the magnitude of that. And or even like the anime girls, where they could think and reason, and they could talk, and it's like drawing a picture on a piece of paper and watching it come to life. Which I've seen done before. And with that being said, there's it's to the point where there really isn't anything left to the imagination as far as what can be done. So, I guess what it is I'm thankful for what I've got. I'm thankful for that in the sense that, I've got things that I'm thankful for. And, with that being said, I've gotten to the point where I created life out of nothingness. Something, for example, if he was with me, something that could keep me company. And it's like Adam and Eve, Adam creating Eve, creating a bride, a woman that could keep him company. Or even, like God creating Adam and Eve, God creating a partner for Adam. So, it's like it kind of quantifies and it actually gets to the point where it makes sense. That, it's not something that's just out of the imagination. It is out of the imagination, but it was created out of the imagination. And you think about Adam and Eve, were they something that was perfected about something that was already created and it was just added to? Or was it in fact something that just came out of the quantum field and was created? So with that being said, I would venture to say that it's the latter, that it was created and there really isn't anything more to say than that. The fact that those types of things were created and they just manifested, so the pinnacle of what I've created and what I've done in life, I've created millions of dollars, all kinds of vehicles, all kinds of women that I was with, all kinds of situations, all kinds of events that took place. But then again, the pinnacle of that was actually creating a living, breathing being that could think and reason. So, if you think about it, even if it was something that just manifested and I wasn't able to explain it, the fact is that it just manifested. And the fact is exactly what I wanted to have manifested. And I actually looked at the creature the being. It wasn't a creature per se, it was a little man. But he looked a lot like me. And, with that being said, he was created from the fact that I was created, that he was created as well. So, with that being said, it's like there is nothing outside of that. The fact is that he was created, and there wasn't really anything else. So the fact is that he standalone was created, and he was created out of nothingness. And with all that being said, I created anime girls that could think and reason, and then I took it up one notch, and I actually created a little man that was in the flesh that could think and reason and speak. So, if you think about it, that's kind of the end of my career. There really isn't anything left to do anymore. There's nothing left to be or have or do. There is really nothing else. I've created everything there is to create, and there just isn't anything else to do anymore. My career has ended. The whole process of creating things has gotten to the point where, I'll leave that to the companies and the CEOs and the corporations to create things. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as things that I've done, the greatest possible thing I could have would be that little leprechaun that's a friend of mine. He's my little servant. And, with that being said, there really just isn't anything else left to do or be or have. I've gotten to the point where, I've reached the highest possible level there is to reach. And, I've done those things that I wanted to do, be or have or do. There just isn't anything left. There's no more magical abilities. Lightning doesn't really strike twice in the same spot, so it's like to replicate a miracle like that would be almost impossible. But I've done things in the past, where I was able to replicate certain things. But there really just isn't anything left to do anymore. I got to be thankful for everything I've got every day, and I got to pinch myself, and I just got to take note of all the things I do have, and be thankful for things I do have. And there really is nothing left to do anymore. There's really nothing left to be or do or have or be. Of all the things I've done, that was the greatest possible accomplishment. It was basically in lieu of my thought. The process took many years to develop and unfold. And eventually it got to the point where, I was able to basically manifest that type of thing. And like I say, there really is nothing left else to do. It's like, I created certain things and all that, but then again, it got to the point where I created an actual being. I was like Frankenstein, when you think about the magnitude of that, how Frankenstein created life out of something that was dead or whatever and brought it back to life. I've done that, I've resurrected people. And, I've done things like that where, I was able to create things, and then I was able to make things and do things and have things and be things. I've had $50 million at one time, and I've had all kinds of cars and women and education and experience. But there, it gets to the point where you just pinch yourself. There really is nothing else to do or be or have. That's all there is to it. And with that being said, that's all I got to say for now. Over and out.